to the second half of Kids Community Connections, 103.1 Kids FM. Phyllis Jones still here, and we're still talking to our guests. And we're talking about communities, and we're talking about churches. We're talking about a Pacific church that has decided to become a part of the community, which is great, because in right today, right now, we need as a community, and I'll say especially the African American community, we need to go back and find our foundation.
Correct.
Because if you don't have a foundation, you're not going nowhere,
right.
And you're going there real fast, nowhere. So we need to go back and find our foundation. And I'm not going to say what breakdown of religion you are, because I have an issue with all that. I really do. I have a personal issue with these broken down denominations, because I think it's craziness. But that's okay. These men are saying, no, she didn't say that. I did say that. I'm serious. I think it's all crazy. Because basically, bottom line, we're all one.
Right.
We're all one, and we're supposed to be about the business of doing what we're doing. But we need to go back to, like I said, building a foundation.
I'd like to take a stab at your question.
What's that?
You had before the break.
Yes.
Asking how we can change the way that the church and the community interact between each other, and how we can get it to be cohesive and be a place where you can learn and grow. I think that it's important also. I think one of the changes that need to happen is the changes of pastors getting together. I think that a lot of times when we do stuff separately, if the community doesn't see the churches doing stuff collectively, then they don't see no reason why they have to do things collectively.
Right.
And as I understand that everybody has their own flock. Some people have a little bit of flock, and some people have a big congregation. But when you're in a community, when we were at that event at Eastward Elementary School, it was a fundraiser. And I didn't know Pastor at the time, met him there as well.
Right.
But as we were walking around, he was the only pastor who was there.
Yeah.
And if in fact we got a cause that is going on in the community, and only pastors that church is on that street or around that corner, or the church that the people who are holding the event go to, and only their pastor comes, I don't think that the community can see exactly what the expectation is from church if pastors don't get together and show the community that we as a body of God can get together and make a difference. Right. If that would happen more, I think that people would respect the entity more.
They would, because and I'll say this to you, because at one time I lost my mind and I became president of NAACP.
She did lose her mind, but she was awesome. Awesome president.
I lost my mind. Anyway, I did a very good job though. But what I'm saying is, we did a prayer breakfast every year, and the sad thing about the prayer breakfast was the letter was sent to every church. Every church got a letter. Every church, storefront church, in the basement church. Okay, where you had church, you got a letter. You did, because I made sure you did, and our secretary made sure you did. But our problem was we had maybe 2 pastors coming to support the one that was there. And myself, I took note of all that. I really did, because I'm very confrontational. I am, because I don't really care. Because if I got something to say, you gonna hear me.
That's the truth, Lord. She confessed.
Help her, Lord. Help her, Lord.
Because I don't think we need to be silent. If I got something to say to you, I need to be able to say it to you. If it hurts your feelings, so be it.
That's how change comes.
Lord help her. Loose cannon, Lord.
You need one. Everybody needs one.
No,
but
Lord.
He's a helper. But my thing was, so I went back and I wrote a letter to every pastor that did not come. My letter was just simply saying, why weren't you there to support? That's all my letter said. That's it. It said nothing else. It said nothing else. And I got one answer back, and one pastor told me, he said, honestly, he was around, honestly, he said, I just didn't come. And I thought that was the worst thing ever.
Right.
That he didn't come. And I'm like, you just didn't. So, to me, when we did prayer breakfast every year, and they still do them, you might see 2. You might be lucky to see 3. And like Nine was saying, I asked to speak before the Ministers Alliance, because I was assuming there was one. Well, I went, and none of the pastors looked like me. And I still did my talk, but I was very disappointed. So then I asked them, like, okay, so where are the pastors that actually look like me? Do they have a big, huge alliance? I said, I just know they do. And I was disappointingly told no, that there's not. You know, and if I see it, everybody else does see it. So like you were saying, people need to see things. Because if I tell myself, if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to support you, I'm going to support you and bring people with me. And I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Because I do that. You know, so you won't ever see, if I say, yeah, we're going to do this, all my friends.
Yes, we're all together.
We're all together.
Yeah.
And if I open the door, I don't need to tell them to come behind me. They automatically know.
Right. Leave the door open.
Just keep the door open because we're all coming in. Well, I need to see the same. We need people. The community do need to see that with pastors. Say, you know, if one pastor opens that door, he got some more coming in with him, not behind him, because behind him you can always turn around and leave. But you need to see them coming with him. We do. The community needs to see that, because the amazing things that you do. If I go and not say you're doing it, but if I go and say, you know, why aren't you doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5? I'm gonna get this strange look. You know, so it is a problem in our area. And I'll say Monday, Reverend Brown at his church is having a MLK breakfast. My thing is, how many pastors are going to be there to support his MLK breakfast and his panel discussion? How many are going to be? Some are going to tell me they didn't know about it.
Yeah, I will tell you that right now. I didn't know about it.
Well, okay, well, it's Monday at 10 o'clock at his church. 200 Beeline Drive.
But that becomes our issue in this discussion.
Yes.
All the time, we don't always know.
Right.
And then we also have our own schedules.
Right.
So we can't always... Like now, you would say, that's Monday.
Yes.
And then if I had something else to do, I couldn't go anyway.
True.
So then I would be looked at as the bad guy, the bad pastor that don't make other pastors' events.
Right.
Well, I had another plan. So we plan on our schedules, and then emergencies happen. We're another form of doctors. I triage all the time.
Yes.
All the time. There is no days off being a pastor.
That's true.
You get called all the time. And then some days, I just can't make your event because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Yesterday, I left my house at 5:30 in the morning. 6:30 last night.
Right.
I took all my clothing and stuff and put it in my car.
Right.
I never got a chance to make it back home for nothing to 10:30 last night.
Yeah.
You're gone all day. I'm headed to your event. I get a phone call. Hey, I got emergency.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to your event. Your event don't trump the life of a member.
Yeah.
So it's that problem we have is
communication.
Is communication is bigger than what we know, and we blame game. But I do think that when we have tragedies like the shooting Fort Hood had years ago, we came together.
Yeah, you did.
Now we didn't come together up until they shooting.
Right.
But when we need to come together, we come together. One thing that keeps us apart is that we're just busy. And when you have a congregation, your congregants don't agree that me and you get to fellowship because we want to hang out.
Right.
No, if it's an issue going on, I don't get to come to yours. That's why I send him or I send someone else to go in my stead, because I can't always make it. We want the pastor to come, but the pastor is one person. It's one person per 100 people.
Right.
It's 100 of y'all. I can't make everything, everybody's event. I got 100 people, and then the community has 100 things that's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't make them all.
Right.
Somebody ain't gonna get to see me. So what I had to do is I try to keep mine around the side of the Killeen that no one and people are forgetting.
Yeah.
The
North
Killeen,
side.
the north side of
north
Killeen,
side.
people are forgetting about.
Yeah.
So I don't try to come and go all over Killeen to go to them other events. I'm trying to have events on my side of town to try to raise awareness on my side of town, try to beat down crime on my side of town, trying to catch them boys and girls that's fighting at Bush's Chicken on my side of town. I'm trying to handle the issues that's going on my side of town.
Right.
I don't have time to go over on Shoemaker's side of town to help them with their issues because my side of town is having issues as well.
Yeah.
You know, so that problem I think is bigger than what we can even imagine. The ministers that I talk to, we communicate and we have lunching, and there's a minister alliance. There's two. There's a Black Ministers Alliance, and then there's the other Ministers Alliance that you went to that I go to. It is the first Tuesday in every month. I go periodically when I can make it. It's your schedules don't always allow you to make everything.
Right.
So what we have to do is first we got to make sure that everybody knows. Even though they say that we sent you a letter. That don't necessarily mean I got the letter.
Right.
So first we got to make sure that everybody knows about it, and then we got to leave room for people that can make it and then don't make it. Because I believe at every event, them that God has or needs to make that event, made that event. And I can't worry about the people that don't come, because even while I'm worrying about people that is not there, I spend time on why Minister Vinay didn't come to the event. I gotta get the people that's there, and I need to meet their needs. And I can't worry about him because I don't know why he ain't there. What if he got in a car accident on the way? You know, all kind of things. What if something happened with his children? All kind of things happen to keep people from events. We just don't honestly know why they don't come. So we can't take it personal. What we got to do is help them that are right there with you and maximize. Bishop Jake say, maximize the moments. We got to maximize our moments.
But we also need to get a better form of communication.
Correct. I agree with that 100%.
We do.
Facebook seems to be the thing people rely on for all the information.
Everybody's out there, but
because if you look at my Facebook page, it goes from ever. It does everything. I think everybody's everything is always on my Facebook page. It actually is. It is. And she leaves it there. And I leaves it there so everybody will know that they need to go. And I get it because one, I have 2 radio shows, but also I'm the state education chair for the NAACP.
Right.
Okay.
So which gives me I have a 37-week. I do a year and a week because I have the whole state. I just don't have Killeen.
Okay.
I have the whole state as far as education.
Right.
So I'll say I know what you do because I do it. Yeah, because right now I'm doing 3 cases with 3 different cities.
Wow.
Yeah, which means I know. So it's and some of them I'm changing their names because I don't understand what's going on. But anyway, and I'll talk about one issue we have. Okay, middle issue in Calvert, Texas. And it's a terrible issue, and I've never been there, but I might need to have to visit. Then again, I don't need to visit because my mentality shouldn't take me there. Right. I don't need to go.
Stay here.
I need to go because Angela Davis is the person I love and strive to be. So that shouldn't take me to Calvert.
Yeah, stay here.
Right,
stay right here.
Because I'll be the first one that they,
stay right here.
Right. But when a pastor called me to tell me about the issue, and he needed to know how to fix it.
Okay.
Well, I was telling him how to fix it. How you fix it through NAACP's way, and it's no different than anybody else's way. But I told him how we do it. And I was telling him about the meeting he needed to have to get this rolling. Well, he said, "Well, my members." I said, "Hold up, excuse me. Excuse me. You're talking about Calvert ISD?" He said, "Yes." So what about your members? He said, what about them? He says, I said, "But you're bringing this up as Calvert ISD, correct?" He said, "Yes." With a bunch of parents, right? Yes. Do they all go to your church? He said, "No." So then we won't worry about that. Right. He said, "What?" I said, "We won't worry about that. If you're going to work this issue, and you're gonna have a meeting," he says, it can't be all your members. Right. It's got to be the community because you said it was a Calvert ISD issue. So me and him had a little back and forth about that, right? And then it became this power struggle thing. It became a power struggle because I was like, well, what's going on? This is what you should do. Okay. So, finally I realized that, okay, he's playing. Okay. I'm like, okay, not a problem. He's sweating, not a problem. I said, "I'll talk to you later." Click. I hung up. I'm through with you. So I called one of the other guys who's a retired superintendent there from years ago, and I started talking to him. I said, "Listen, this is what you need to do." He says, "Well, the pastor's leading." I said, "No, he's not." I took him out the game. He's what? He's not willing to listen. He's willing to only do it as far as his congregation, but he's defending the school district against a bunch of kids, but he's only willing to do it through his congregation. I said, which means he's leaving out the segment of people, a whole segment. Okay. Because you can't fight an ISD and just say, only it's for my church members. I said, so I took him out of the equation. I took him out. He said, "You can do that. I'm state education. I do what I want to do." I said, for the betterment of the kids, I'm doing that. I'm kicking him aside, and we'll work with it. So we're working it, and and it's being sent to Office of Civil Rights because it's a serious case. But the other day, the pastor called me up. He says, "Listen, I was thinking about what you said." He says, "And we'll do it." "You gonna do what?" He said, "We'll take the case." "Sorry, it's done." He said, "It's done." It's done. He said, "I'm a pastor." I said, "You want to know what I said, you want to hear me?" He said, "I could care less about that." He said, "What do you mean?" My thought was those 160 kids that you said we need to work for. He said, "Yeah, I could care less about you being a pastor. I don't care about your congregation. I care about those 106 kids." I said, "You were trying to play a power struggle with me." I said, "I know who I am, and I know what I can do." I said, and I actually don't have to listen to you. I said, because you were playing a game that I don't know how to play. I said, I've never learned that game and will never learn it. I say, so I'm going to put you over there. I said, but the case is done. Officer of Civil Rights is coming in to do the investigation. He said, where's my name going to be? Nowhere. And he said, but I'm Minister whoever. I don't care who you are. I said, because at this point, it's not about you, it's about those kids.
Yes.
You know, I said, you know, but he wasn't understanding because when I was working, I'm willing to work with him, but when he started talking about, well, the meeting's going to be only for my congregation, whoa, no, stop. So I had it, and we find that a lot.
Right.
I find that a lot when I'm working the issue and the pastor's involved, you know, and if you want to bring me in as NAACP, then we do the whole, we don't do the, so
let me say this. What's interesting about our pastor, right, at our church is that, say for example, if he wants to link up with someone at that level, he would, in some kind of way, he would, you know, do a one-on-one, and he would incorporate it, and he would come up with a plan that would just, you know, be community wide. Right. And he's busy is right. and when I started really kind of getting to understand that, it's a lot that he do, and I try to make sure that I'm right, so that way if he's not available in the spot, I can help him out. But he's there. So something at that level, it is huge, right? And I believe he would approach it that way. I don't see him linking up with someone at that level and then being pushed aside because that wouldn't help to him at all, because he's like that when he comes out to the schools and things like that. So it's a community is a huge issue. Like, say for example, like getting back to like what we do Monday Night Raw. Fatherlessness, right? You know, lack of fathers, or being a father, being that figure, right? That's a very important thing. And I think what we do is we try to master that, because it's not a church issue. It's really a community issue. It's everywhere. So the point that you're making, where at that particular level, you can't be in a box with that. Right. And that's one thing I understand about Pastor, that he's not in that box. Right. He's not in that box. He, you know, whatever it is, he'll find a way, link it with the right people, and just kind of, you know, he'll get out the way and let you. He'll be a part of it. He don't even care about being in the lead. Just can we reach him? What can we do? And he comes that way. That's one thing I learned to understand. Very busy guy. Very busy guy, trust me, and I have, and it's amazing because like this morning, you know, I'm trying to figure out, I have to be here. I just have to be here because I know he's busy and he's doing things. We have a lot of events coming up, and I'm noticing that he's just an active guy. He's just always okay. Let's stop, fix. We're gonna do, set it up. Let's keep moving. All right. Then another issue comes up, and then it just expands. So I understand what you're saying. I can't see him being one to be pushed to the side, because he's all about, you know, community issues like that. Okay.
And speaking of fathers and sons, we actually have another event that we have coming up next weekend, Pastor. I don't remember the details.
Yes, we do. It's in collaboration with East Ward, with Miss Cinnamon. It's Father and Son Summit. At the church.
He sent me a flyer on that.
From 12 to 5. Yes. All men can come out with your boys. Bring your boys. We're going to have activities for the father and sons. We're going to have activities for the boys. We're going to have some prizes for the boys, some gifts for the boys. We do apologize to all the moms and the ladies out there, but this is not your event. And so we love you, and we would ask that you would send your children, your boys, your husbands. If you have some, for the single mothers that your sons need rides, call the church, 254-634-1137, and we will make sure that we can come by and pick your boys up and bring your boys back home to you. We do ask that they dress up with a bow tie and a regular tie. And if they don't have it, send them anyway. I have some ties for them. I have some shirts for them. We would take care of them, but we want them to come out, see other boys in the community, other men in the community that are successful, that are trying to do things, that we can make a difference in our community. It's an event for the boys. We're going to feed them. We got a meal planned for them, a wonderful meal, not no little piece of meal. We got a meal for them. We plan to hang out and have a wonderful time. We thank God for Miss Cinnamon, the CIS, one assistant at East Ward, that's doing a wonderful, great job, and asked us to partnership with her. So we thank God for that opportunity to be able to do that, and I believe it'll be a wonderful event. So we asking the community, again, if you listen to the radio station, everybody knows now. Come on out.
Okay, and before we wrap up, I need to give the name and address of your church. And the phone number.
Church of the Deliverance in Killeen, Texas, 3121 Commerce Drive, 254-634-1137.
Okay, and I want to thank you for coming on Kids Community Connections this morning and sharing what you do. And unfortunately, you have to get a Facebook page because the world is going that way.
Yes.
Nine can manage for you, but you need to get one. I know you might not want one, but sometimes it's not what we want, it's how we reach the people.
Right.
I received that, and Miss Nine already has one, and she's on all the social media sites for the church, and she's manning it. So if you need to talk to me, look us up. We're out there, and Miss Nine would definitely make sure I get it if you need me personally. She is my social media guru, so that's why she's here today. But thank you for having us. We really appreciate being here.
You're welcome. And I want to thank everyone for listening to Kids Community Connections 103.1 Kiss FM. Also, if you miss any of my shows, you can go to my Kiss at go to mykiss1031.com, go over to Community Connections, and all of my shows are saved there, so you can listen to them over and over. And for people who want to send someone to tell them to listen to it, you do the same thing. Just go to our website and look it up, and all my shows are there. I want to thank everyone for listening to Kids Community Connections 103.1 Kiss FM. I want you to always remember, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye now.